And welcome back to our C++ exploration. What we have here now is my cleaned out program again with two numbers declared, number 1 and number 2 declared as values of 5 and 7. The next concepts that we need to discuss are how do I make a path of a program deviate or change. What we've been doing is declaring our variables, loading our variables, processing our variables, and then outputting our results. A linear process that says start at the top and work your way down. Do not change anything else about this. You're going to work all the way through this. But unfortunately, we need the ability, or fortunately, we need the ability to mimic the concept of decisions, or the ability to decide, is this true or is this true? And depending upon what the results of that decision, make a different path in our program. You think of this like, is it cold or hot outside, or is it hot outside? If it's cold, I'm going to put on a jacket. If it's hot, I'm not going to put on a jacket. So this concept of comparing things and making decisions is very, very common in code. So for example, if I wanted to compare number 1 to number 2 and ask, is number 1 less than number 2? I would expect to get an answer of true, where it says 1. And if you recall from the past when we talked about Boolean values, the result of all comparisons is a Boolean value. So number 1 is less than number 2, therefore it gives us the value of true. If I change this into a greater than, is number 1 greater than number 2? The answer is no. It gives me a 0. So we can see now for two symbols, greater than and less than, we can compare and get results. We know that 0 is false. We know that 1 is true in system-wide. We also, if we recall the discussion, know that the value of anything other than 0 can be considered true. So if I come in here and I say this value is 7, and I ask, is 7 greater than 7? No, it's not greater than 7. Is it less than 7? No, it's not less than 7. Can I test for if it's not less than and it's not greater than, is it equal to? I can. The common mistake, though, is to use the assignment operator as an equivalency test. It doesn't work that way in C++. The test for equality is the double equal symbol. And you'll notice it kind of grayed things out when it didn't like what I had given it. If I run it, I get, is number 1 equal to number 2? The answer is true. Now, there are a bunch of symbols that we have available to us. And you can kind of see what's going on here. The operators and the description, there's our equal sign. Skip this one. There's less than, there's greater than. We can test for less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to also. This guy right here is a combinatorial thing where it says, or a combination symbol, where I'm going to say, instead of equal equals, I'm going to say not equals. It's a shorthand way of doing it. So this is a logical operator. The logical operator is not, but used in this is a comparison, a relational operator. Is it equal to? Is it not equal to? And these are examples of what they say. Is 7 equal to 5? No. Is 5 greater than 4? Yes. Is 3 not equal to 2? Yes. Is 6 greater than or equal to 6? Yes, because of the equivalency sign there. Is 5 less than 5? False. And this is what goes on inside our code when we start making decisions. We can see that this is stored this way and results in a Boolean value. We can even write an equation that does the same thing. And then output the actual result in our output. Yay, still true. So the assignment operator, when done here, is of lesser precedence than the test for relationship here. So this is what's going on inside our relationships and the way we test for them. So you can use any of the following. You can use a less than symbol. You can use the greater than symbol. You can use the less than or equal to symbol. You can use the greater or equal to. You can use equals, which is the equals really. or you can use the not equals, which is the exclamation point. These are the relationship operators that we have to test and see whether something is or is not something we want to deal with. As a side note, something that is my fingers like to not do much. If you're going to be testing against a value, for example, if you were going to say, is number 1 equal to 5? Just to map the constant there. What happens with this will say, is number 1 equal to 5? It'll say no, and it'll store the result there, and we should see a nice little 0. However, if your fingers don't work right, like they often do with equality testing, and you type in that, the answer here is kind of a problem. Because what happens is the 5 gets assigned to the value number 1 and gets assigned to the Boolean value result. So if we run this, you'll see that it actually comes out as 1. Because what's happened is Boolean values take 0 as false and anything that is not 0 is true. So what we've done is, instead of testing for equality here, we have assigned 5 to number 1, and we've said the result is equal to some value that is not 0, therefore it is true. And therefore, boom, you get an instant true value. So the way to solve this problem is to do a couple of things. If you think about it in terms of how your fingers work, or at least in terms of how my fingers work, when I type stuff out, if I typed it out like this, I instantaneously get a nice little red line because I'm trying to assign the value of number 1 to the actual literal 5. And this can't happen. If I take it to the extreme where I know that I'm going to be doing this a lot, and I use the answer as my value to test for, as soon as I do that, I'm definitely going to fail, and you'll see it will not compile. The build has failed because I'm trying to do an assignment to an actual variable that's constant. It won't take the variable. It will not take the answer, a change in value, because I've already declared it and assigned it. So if you try to test for that, you can see that this is going to fail if you forget the other equals. I can do a test. I can do the test on it and see if it works, and then everybody will compile and be happy. But if I do it the other way around, if I take num1 and I go equal and I forget the other equal and put the answer, it'll still do the assignment. So if you can think about it this way, think about doing a constant value that you're doing your testing to, then whatever test you're going to do, and then the variable value on the other side. This is kind of a nice way of writing your code to avoid that equals oopsie if you leave out that equivalent sign and you put just 1 in there. So that's a start on the concepts of testing for things. Next up, we'll start talking about the very first decision piece of code. Hope you're having a great day.